Welcome to Inside Builder channel, Solopreneur's secret weapon, building your company with Agentic IDE. Sign up, sign in, and landing pages. We are going to build additional features into our website, and this is part 5 of multi-part series that I have been making. We have been following the 10 plus one step exactly. So we had discussed the deployment part and creating Docker file and using Railway app, etc. in the last video. Before that, we had walked through all these parts in detail on creating website completely from the scratch using Agentic IDE. If you have been following my videos, you would have seen this Python bootcamp demo where I discussed the inventory tracker web application. We are going to use that tracker web application, and on that tracker web application, we are going to update our sign in and sign up processes. So let us now dive into code. We are going to use Composer. Composer is similar to the chat interface in Cursor. In case of Composer, it actually creates the file automatically. That's not the only feature. You can update that to become an agent also. So this does the entire process for you, and we can be hands-free. I'm going to try this, and in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to work on these 4 steps. Why we should go for sidebar in a website. We have to add in the sign-in process and also OAuth 2 login and sign up process, and we need to add a login page. I'm going to add all these 3 in a single prompt. Before that, I would like to give you some feedback on the processes I had followed. In the increasing complexity in manageable steps, I had discussed this extensively in this video. So before we dive into creating much more complex aspects of the website, you have to manage to learn how small things happen inside the web server as well as inside the cursor like Agentic IDE. So you need to get comfortable with this entire setup, how the files are getting created, how the files are getting edited, what is actually happening at the back end. Understanding these in a little more in-depth fashion will help you to avoid the bottlenecks that occurs in the later stage. Let us now go into this step. Why should you go for a sidebar? Sidebar is a feature that is available in almost all of the web pages, including even if you look at this particular application, which is Obsidian, here also there is a sidebar. If you click on this, it will expand into a sidebar, and you will have all this details like the Explorer, Quick Stitcher, and the fork, etc. If you go to this cursor also, you will have this sidebar here. Almost all of these applications provide the sidebar as a navigation tool. So you must be comfortable creating these sidebars and understand how these sidebars work. This provides the focus on the tools. It provides the hub for the tool, and it's a familiar design in the web apps, as I told you. So understanding creating the sidebar process is very crucial. When it comes to the sign-in process, we have to use 2 different methods. A regular traditional username password entry process where the new user gives their own username and password and gets the registration in our website. That is one way, and the other way is to use the user's mail ID and Gmail ID especially and get the OAuth process completed. This process will require the API access from the Google side, which I'm not going to dive into. If you guys have any question, do let me know. There are lots of videos that is available that can do this for you. In case of Cursor, you can still get the information on how to do it. Okay, there is a process that it follows, and it shows you what you need to do inside the cloud console and get the things done. However, you don't in this video we will not dive into that. I just want to tell that there is a feature that we can implement here. And finally, we can add the landing page. this is one of the important tasks that we require to do as a web server. If you have been working along with me, you would have already seen that the Solopreneur website, the basic website which has a task manager as a product, has been already deployed into the Railway app, and you can see the landing page here. So this landing page was created with help of Agentic IDE. This image was taken from Pixabay. The attribution to this image will be shared in the description. So do take a look, and do thank the I do thank the photographer for the image. Let us go back. Let us now look at the Dockerizing the server part is already taken care. You can take a look at this in the next video, earlier video, in part 4. So this is the part 4 video where I was discussing about the Dockerization part. Let us now dive into the coding part directly. Here I have opened Composer and I have added all the files. If you see all the files here, that has been added as a context here. And I am telling to the Composer because this is going to be a new session altogether in the Composer. There is a chat session that is going on, which is separate from the Composer session. So I'm going to give a very brief prompt. Create the landing page sidebar and the sign-in process for the above web server based on Flask and HTMX. The app.py contains the current endpoints. Kindly review the same. For updating the database models, please refer the database.py. In fact, even you don't need to provide these things. I'm just trying to provide the information. You don't need to give this inventory.db also. That's not required. I'm just trying to provide the information that is necessary for any developer. If a developer is going to come and start doing this project, I will be giving this information, right? I want these 3 things, and for that I am asking the update or support from the Composer Claude 3.5 Sonnet model. Also keep one thing in mind. This will take multiple calls to the Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So before you start, be aware that how much remaining calls to the Claude Sonnet you have, and accordingly you decide, because you are giving it as an agent, and this agent will start using tools, and these tools will have multiple calls going on in loop, because it's having something called as a flow that will happen automatically. If you have doubts on flows and all, you can take a look at my videos on Crew AI. So if you go to the playlist on Crew AI, you will be able to understand how the flows work. Especially in this demo on Composer, on Agentic IDE, on Code Monkeys, you can get the details. So let us now start. So I'm going to submit and let us see what happens. It's starting to generate. This is very similar to the cascade that you see in Windsurf, and it has a very similar kind of feel and look. Let us see how the generation happens and what kind of updates it starts doing. So let us see, it's modifying the database.py, it's starting to generate, and it is applying it directly also. Right, and let me open the database.py. You can see that it has already applied and it is waiting for me to accept it. So I'm going to accept it here. So it is waiting for me to accept it. In case of Windsurf, it doesn't. So in Windsurf, it directly goes on and keeps on applying. And once you see that it changes, then you can start step by step accepting it. So it has updated here. So if you go, you can see that it has updated the logout, login process, register process, login, dashboard. Yep, I am going to accept this. Here you can also see it's actually updating the landing.html in parallel without waiting for me. So here the landing page has come. So let me accept that. Cool. And we have a login HTML, which is also coming up here. I'm going to accept that. Register.html is also getting updated. I'm going to accept that. It's pretty fast, guys. I am actually surprised with the level of update it's providing me. And the thing is, we are right now in a situation where we can, understand the entire process, because if you have gone through the earlier steps in this part 1 to 4, you would have known that how much level of detail we went into before we came to this level where we are letting Composer to do everything for us. So yeah, here is the updates, and I'm going to accept that. It has done. Let's add some custom styles. So it's going to update the styles.css. When you if you are seeing this video for the first time, right, this might look as if overwhelming. If you look at the earlier videos, then you will really feel at home. If you had followed that earlier videos and if you had done the entire process, then it's nothing like that. You can see that it has changed 8 files and it is telling me the files it has changed. Okay. And it is telling me the login pages, etc., that has been updated. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these things. Okay, and I'm going to do one important thing, that I'm going to ask it to update the inventory tracker doc, update the changes made to the server in the above inventory tracker doc. So this is something that I always keep doing, because later when I'm going to look at this server, and if I need to understand what has happened, it will be much more easier to look at the inventory tracker and understand it at a very high speed. By now, even if you're a junior developer, you would have got a very good base on how to develop servers at a very high speed. It's not just the servers. You can actually work on different logic. I'm giving you these easy to do exercises, but the power of the agentic IDEs lies in working on actually tougher problems and getting the things done. Right. Next, so it has completed the process. Let me look at the inventory tracker. I am expecting, yeah, it has already updated the tracker. You can see that it has added all these additional points. And just a second, it's still generating and it is still updating here. So that's why it has not completed. So you can say now accept. So once you accept it, okay, you can close this, and you see that it has completed it and it is updating the number of files changed. So it is total 9 files. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to run this server. Let us close this Composer. We don't need this now. I will open the terminal and let me pull this down. I already have a virtual environment, I believe, or not. Well, I think I don't have a virtual environment, and I think I don't require that also. So I will just run python app.py, because it's going to be a Flask server. So yeah, it has started. So Flask is already installed, so it should not be a problem. Let me open this. Oh, cool. Nice. So you can see that this is a very straightforward landing page, and it's asking you to directly register and log in. So let us first of all register, because we have to start somewhere, right? It has already got my username and password from somewhere else, so let it be there. And let me take that and paste it here and register. Okay, registration successful. You see that here something is wrong. The style and the login page is not working properly. So let us take a look at that. Okay, let us click on login here. Okay, and let us log in. Okay, welcome back. It has already logged me in, and I am in the inventory tracker. So let me click on inventory tracker. Okay, so now you see that a new error has popped up. This is expected actually. I was expecting this kind of an error because whenever multiple things are getting changed, at least the LLM misses couple of logical points to be updated. It updated the database, but you know what? When I started the server, so if you go back, when I started the server, the database that was there was not refreshed, meaning the tables in the database were not refreshed. So let me right click this. Okay, so this is something it takes time to understand. Okay, if you have been doing web development, you will immediately figure this out. Okay, this user ID is issues coming because the database is not updated, right? If not, then it's going to take a bit of a time to understand that. So I'm removing this, and now I'm going to again run this app. You'll see that it will talk about generating the database also. Well, so let us actually go into the, okay, you see that there is some kind of a issue happening here. So you can see the sidebar, but the dashboard is kind of creating a recursive loop. So something is not right in the overall setup. So let me try to log out. So you can see that there is a multiple call that is going. You can see that, right? So there is a kind of a recursion that has been created. So let us now do this. So let me stop that and let me go back to, now you can do it in two ways. Either you can actually go back to the composer, or you can go back to chat and do it one by one. So excuse me, any of these things is fine. So either you want to use composer, you can use that, but I am more comfortable with the chat based option where I have a better control, because you saw that when you are going to handing it over to the composer, it can actually create challenges that you will not be able to control that easily. So let us now inform the chat that the landing page, the login logic, and the dashboard has been created. However, there is a recursive display of dashboard. Kindly review that. Review and update the necessary files. And I'm not giving any kind of a context here. You see that I'm just going to give it a blind update. So let us also the main thing, also the database needs to be created again as the tables are updated. Well, so I'm going to update this. And you can see that it is starting to generate again, and this time we are in the chat window. You understood, right? And this is going to only generate the code, and it is not, yeah, here you can see that it is actually asking me to, provide the code. In general, recursive template rendering usually happens when the template extends itself, there is a circular template inheritance, etc. Please share the relevant code. So if I don't give the context, it's not able to do anything. But in case of composer, since I had already given the context, if I go back and give this same prompt in the composer, it will be able to correct it. So let us try. So why not? So let us go back to composer, and I am going to do the same thing. So you saw in case of the chat, it did not work because it was asking for the background file details. But let me do it in case of composer. Let me see whether it is able to update it. It has started generating. Let us see what is output. So as you can see here, I am directly showing what exactly is happening to you guys, and this can be a real challenge for anybody who is thinking to enter into Agentic IDE and get the things done all by themselves. Yes, you can get it done all by yourself. However, when you're going to face this kinds of challenges, you need to exactly know how to guide the Agentic IDE towards getting you the solution. Telling the right terms and showing what kind of problem or describing what kind of problem that you are facing in the server is crucial. So give it a bit of time, and let us see how the output is. Let me pause and get back once it is ready. So it is still taking time. You can also see that if I click on the generating this arrow down here, the files that is already in the context can be seen. Okay, so let us give it a little more time. It's actually taking longer than I expected. So after waiting for some 5 minutes, I decided to cancel it. Okay, and what I have decided is I'm going to just change this. Okay, I'm going to remove this. There is a recursive display, so I'm going to just say there is a recursive display in the dashboard. Kindly review and update the necessary files. That's it. I'm just going to make it very simple to avoid unwanted time. So let us see how this works. So let me give submit right now and see whether it is able to generate at a faster rate. What is happening sometimes is internal calls can keep on mounting. So you need to keep track of what's happening in your usage also. Correct. Keep track of that, because your fast requests quota can get over very soon if you are not being aware of this. So yeah, now you see it is generating, and it has done some updates. So it's going to update it directly also. As I was telling you, sometimes it's always better to start with the smaller problem rather than trying to work on something directly which is really big. Okay, so that will help a lot. So I'm going to look at the dashboard.html, so which has already got updated. So dashboard.html, I'm applying it. I'm just accepting it all because I had missed the flow right now. So I'm accepting it all, and let us see how is the output. So it has updated the dashboard. I will close the inventory. It has updated the app.py. It has updated the inventory row. Okay, I think inventory row is a new file. Okay, it's a inventory row is a new file that has been created, and that is also got updated. So this is something new, correct? You have to be clear of what is happening, and when files are changed, and we need to see that it has removed a couple of things. So it has removed the hx get from the table div that was causing the recursive loading. So it has found that it was causing the recursive loading, and these were the things that has been updated. After this, always, so add the inventory tracker record, update the above issue that was created, above recursive issue that was created, and its solution in the Markdown file. So this is very crucial. Keeping track of whatever updates the model is doing and recording it back will save you a lot of money that you're spending, right? At the end of the day, these generations are going to be paid for by you, correct? And having a proper backup of it to refer to it later and use it for future studies and even sharing it with others is very crucial. Let us go to the inventory tracker, and it has updated it here, and give it a second, and then I can accept it. Right, so I have accepted it. Let us now see whether the whatever we want is done properly. Let us again go back. Let us execute the Python code. and I hope that it should work this time. Let us see. Okay, here till here it's okay. So you have been logged out. Cool. Login. Login. Okay, here it doesn't look good. So here it's saying invalid username and password. So probably I need to register here. Okay. I'm gonna take that and register. Registration successful. I'm going to log in here. Login. So it's going to go in. Okay. So it has come in here. And you see there is some kind of a login problem here, and the dashboard is not looking good. Okay, so the dashboard looks kind of cramped. Okay, and you can see that I can add the item, and I can log out. I can go back to now the dashboard looks good. It has come back to normal, and I can import CSV file. I can choose the file which I want to import. I'm doing the bulk import and upload and import. So that's really good, right? So it has done the process. It has added the item. It has got everything. And yeah, splendid. So if I do a logout, it is coming back to the landing page. So I believe that you have seen how the entire stuff works, right? It's sometimes you have to be very clear on what exactly happens and why it might be happening. Okay, knowing that, okay, there is a recursive problem. I did not even use the image, take the image of that problem and share it with the image feature in Composer. I meant I did not go ahead and start directly diving into providing the image here. I could have gone ahead and given the image, right? I did not do that. So sometimes you don't need to complicate stuff. You can just simply ask the tracker to ask the Composer or the chat to do the updates, and it will be able to do. Sometimes it will start going in tangent. The main thing is Claude 3.5 Sonnet model has been very good till now in getting the things sorted out at a very high speed in proper fashion. So by now you must have seen how you can actually create sign up and sign in process and landing pages. You can actually make this landing page longer also. So let us ask for it. The landing page is landing page needs to be more informative and contain the future updates that will be included, like adding the inventory data from Excel, or by reading images and using API calls. So I'm trying to create a kind of a roadmap that I can update it in the landing page. So let me close the rest of the things so that only landing.html is here, and let us. Okay, so I need to change this because I have to go to Composer and I have to start working there. Sorry about that. So I will paste it here, and I'm not going to give the landing page context because it's already there in the context. So if you look at it here, it's already there in the context. So I'm not going to do that. Let me see how is the stuff working. In fact, I have been right now trying to understand how this kind of workspace stuff works really, and I'm planning to make a video on Crew AI and Composio. So stay tuned for that. Let us see how this works. It has been a pretty good ride till now, because I am even getting more confident with the way the entire scenario is building and how the solution is given to me. You can see that the page getting updated, and so the new spans have been updated here. I'm going to accept it. And let us close this. So it's still generating something. Okay, so it's basically, yeah, updating the CSS file also. So keeping track of this entire generation process, and it's actually slow, right? Sometimes it's like playing a video game and giving a commentary right now. I cannot just keep silent also sometimes. So yeah, the style.css is done. Let us see what else it's trying to update. Accept. Okay, so it is done. So it is telling what it has updated. Okay, cool. Let me close this. And I think it would have reloaded, but still, I'm going to do a manual reload. Go back, do a. Okay, now things look a little different, right? Suddenly, the page is completely different. Okay, this entire page, once I refreshed, you see it is having a different kind of a feel. And if you scroll down, it is going to talk about these mobile responsive options, and it is ready to create a free account, and you can register here also. I mean, it has done a really good job. So let us go back. And I believe that in this video, you have got some very good idea on how to create your own website. This is one of the almost the final video on this series of videos that I've been making on becoming a solopreneur and trying to make your own website and pushing that website and deploying that website into the public online system and using it for marketing. When you show this landing page, I'm pretty sure the customers will feel much more confident on what you are capable of. Right? Even if the IDE only created all these things, but you need to still understand to look at the code and review how the things are working. Okay, that is very crucial. You need to be able to read the HTML. You may not be able to do it right now. It's all right, but as you start building your business, as you start practicing agentic IDEs and the rest of the ecosystem, you need to get the mindset of learning on the job, on the project, and get the things done. So I believe that in this video, you have got some good deal of understanding about the Composer as well as the chat system and how the landing page and the sign-in page can work with Flask and HTMX. And we also saw what kind of challenges you might face when you are working with agentic IDEs and how to recover from the challenges and still deliver a website that you want. So with that said, I would like to leave this word with four words, that is practice, 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 practice.